Hello, and welcome to North Coast Journal Preview. This is a show where we take a look at the current edition of the North Coast Journal. My name is Matt Knight, and I'll be your host for today. And I am joined by North Coast Journal's managing editor, Jennifer Famico Cahill. Welcome, Jen.
How you doing, Matt?
You know, I am doing as well as I could be expected to do in my own limited fashion.
We're really adjusting.
We are. There's a lot of adjusting going on in the world today. Not all of it the way you want to adjust, but, you know, there used to be controls on the television set where you could, mess with the vertical hold. And
there's no more adjusting your reality, Matt.
No. You can't do that anymore. So I guess we're just going to have to live with it. The picture that we have is what we get.
You've taken it to a dark place already, Matt.
But that's my nature. So, what can I say? Well, as usual, I'm going to ask you what is on the cover of the North Coast Journal this week.
Well, I want to first apologize by saying if you have trouble lifting your North Coast Journal this week, it is because it is a fat issue, typically our fattest of the year. It is the Best of Humboldt issue, our annual reader-voted Excellence of Humboldt listing. And everybody voted on everything. It's a big list, and it's full of local businesses, personalities, and lots of pets. We are a very pet-heavy office, okay? So let me just state that right off. We are, if people want to talk about bias, we get lots of accusations. You've sold out to big pharma. You've sold out to big cannabis. We've sold out to big pet, okay? And also very, very small pet. So.
And are the pets like monitor lizards?
Some of them are. Mark in our office, Mark Boyd, who does our classifieds, he is a big pet guy. He has a corn snake named Greta that we love and kind of fear because she's gotten very big.
Now, let me ask you a question. Maybe you don't know the answer to this, but are they called corn snakes because they like corn or because you find them in the cornfield?
I am not asking Greta. That is her business.
Okay.
Yeah. But we have a sort of pet-themed best of issue, best in show. And so you will see a lot of pets throughout, including on the cover and inside, best office support is Jolene. You may notice people who have, honest to God, nothing better to do may have seen in our staff box in the journal every week, there is an office support member listed going by one name. It's Jolene. And she's that little Cocker Spaniel thing that's on there. Is she a Cocker Spaniel? Matt, you know dogs better than I do. I think she's a Cocker Spaniel.
I think she is, yeah.
She's my boss's dog, so let's just hope I'm right. Anyway, speaking of my boss, Melissa Sanderson.
If you aren't right, you're going to hear about it.
I am absolutely going to be. It's been lovely being managing editor. I'll miss you all. But yeah. Melissa Sanderson, our publisher, went around and took photos of our winners and had a blast doing it, met a lot of their pets. And also, I should mention that the Best of Humboldt, while there are little write-ups from the editorial department, it's not an editorial product. It is something that our sales department runs, our marketing department runs, but it is completely voted on by our readers. And that means we have no control. The only control we have is what categories we have. And if you think there's something weird or missing or something that needs to be changed in our categories, as did somebody a couple years ago, I believe wrote in and said that best drag queen should be best drag performer or best drag artist, which it is now, because that adds more, leaves room for our drag kings and those outside the binary. It just opens it up to more performers and made it more fun. So if you have suggestions and things like that, please send them on to us. We are always eager to hear. But the write-ups that we have in the issue are really about our own personal obsessions as members of the editorial staff. We go through the list every year once we get the list of winners, and we call dibs on what we want to write about. And it is sometimes a battle. There are some things that we know I'm going to grab my favorite food thing first. Most likely anything to do with pets is going to go to Kali Koziris. But it's a fun issue to put together. And I should note regarding the voting, so we have 2 rounds of voting. We do a nomination round, and then we do a final voting round. And those of you who may have been campaigning to win best of in less than the spirit of the rules may find that we have been a little bit strict. And apparently we have been for several years, but I did not know this. I, again, am outside the loop. But from what I understand, people who went and voted like multiple times a day were nixed.
Cheaters never prosper.
Well, I mean, they do, but not in the North Coast Journal Best of.
Not in this particular case. Maybe in other cases they do.
Right. So you're either going to have to play fair or come up with a sneakier way to cheat. So our list is as it stands. I, of course, because I'm obsessed, I grabbed the Suzuki no Ramen Bar as the thing I got to write about. And I have enjoyed in the past talking to Chef Goro is my grandpa's name, Gori Igarashi. And it was a pleasure to be able to congratulate them on their win. Have you been to Suzuki no yet?
I have not.
Matt, you've got to get over there. It is very nice fried chicken, for one thing, aside from the ramen. But they won for the best new restaurant. And they have really, in a short time, pulled together a big following, partly for having some lovely fresh ramen noodles. No shade on our friend, the instant ramen, but Humboldt was too slow in getting a ramen shop up here, I have to say. They have a special ramen that has vinegar in it, which has a lot of fans, and it's got sort of a nighttime hangout vibe. So all those things really, I think, work together well in Arcata and for the audience and customer base that they've built, and they've just done a great job. So congratulations to Suzuki no Ramen Bar.
Yeah, well, I don't get out much, but I am going to try and make it over there.
You said you had questions about a couple of the winners.
Well, I made some notes here, and I noticed that Eureka Natural Foods lost out to Best Parking Lot to College of the Redwoods, where my car happens to be parked at this very moment.
What are your feelings about that?
Well, I mean, I think they could use some restriping, but I think it. But it is a nice big parking lot, so I can see where people would enjoy it. As far as finding a place to park, you're not going to have a problem. So
I mean, for people who are all about parking lot size, it's a clear winner.
Yes,
I think it's missing some of the decorative aspects that Eureka Natural Foods has.
Right. Well, for those whose size matters, it's going to be CR all day long. The other one I'm going to take issue with is the Best Local Radio Station. Not that I have anything against our friends over at LCCI, and the Point, but there's this little station called KZZH that just seems not to get much love from anybody. So I'm just going to point that out.
Begin your campaign for next year now, Matt, and no cheating. Yeah. No cheating.
All right. That might be the only way we win, but yeah, we'll get to work on that right now.
We had a winner in Boba Monster. I don't know if you are a Boba fan. That seems maybe a little sweet for you. Possibly a little sweet for you.
I'm a savory dude.
And Anto wrote the write-up for that. She is our resident Boba-obsessed person. You may also recall she competed in the chicken wing eating competition over at Six Rivers Brewery. They won the best dog friendly dining, by the way, but she competed in that. I would imagine that boba is real refreshing after you've had maybe a dozen of the hottest wings you've ever seen in your life.
No
We
doubt.
had we had Dre Meza as our best tattoo artist,
Okay.
and Humboldt County is a big tattoo county.
It is.
We
Yeah.
have, I think, some of the best tattoo artists. I've seen beautiful work around the county. And I realize now, after having looked at Dre Meza's, that I've seen his work around. Although it may be a little bit tough to recognize sometimes, because as he explained to me in our phone call over, when he won, he said that when he started out, the big thing was being versatile, because you need to be able to give people what they want. He has his personal aesthetics, his things that he loves, like classic American and Japanese tattoos, Mayan and Aztec imagery, all those things. And he's an oil painter. So he's already got his own style of painting in which some of those motifs show up. And apparently, if you want an oil painting reproduced on your body, he's your guy, because as a painter himself, he has a really good feel for creating brushstroke and things like that.
Well, I have been considering Le Grand Jatte as a tramp stamp.
It's never too late and never too early, Matt. And who'll know, even if you don't like it, you won't see it, unless you're more flexible than I thought. Dre also told me something interesting, which is so he can basically do whatever you want. Although he is a little bit, I don't know, I feel like he has fatherly advice to share. When a very young person comes to him, like if you've just turned 18 and you're like, I am ready to get that 707 tattooed across my throat or on my forehead, etc.
Right.
He has some very fatherly advice. He says he will sometimes caution people, or maybe even not do the tattoo, be like, listen, maybe you can go and get this somewhere, but I'm not going to do it. His thing is that maybe before you get something done on your neck or your hand or your face, you need to be more established in your career. He said, tattoos shouldn't make your life harder for you. They should make it more enjoyable.
Right. Career in finance,
Right?
prison tattoo, career in finance, prison tattoo. Can you choose wisely?
I mean, these are all good choices. Maybe the tattoo will save you from a career in finance. Tough to say.
There you go.
But when I think about the things that I thought were the coolest thing in the world at 18, I hope that somebody like Dre Meza is there to stop you from getting that. Another thing that was fun as we were going through was the best shop dog or cat who runs the place. I think we all know there are those places. In New York, bodega cats rule the city. They're all named Luna. They're all adorable. We love them. They sit on the box of Takis and we pet them. We ignore all health codes for bodega cats. But the winner of Best Shop Dog Who Runs the Place in Humboldt County is Small Dog. Small Dog. At the Jefferson Center down in Eureka, there is a small dog as advertised who is named, wait for it, Small Dog.
Oh, okay. It's a descriptive name.
It is, when you see this little creature, Kali describes it as having steely-eyed focus and a nap schedule that puts your wellness app to shame. He's a greeter, a morale officer, unofficial security, and VP of emotional support.
Wow, sounds well deserved.
Right? It is a very, very sweet puppy. And so, if nothing else, while you're handing out handshakes and congratulations to the winners, don't forget to stop over and maybe hand out a belly rub to Small Dog.
Yeah, I was pleased to see the barn. I think maybe it's just called Barn at Fernbridge on the wedding thing. I went to a wedding there a couple weeks ago, and this is not an endorsement, but it was a very nice venue for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of really cool wedding photos from there putting together the wedding guide. I have never been myself. Why aren't people inviting me to weddings? What's that about? But I have seen a lot of really beautiful photos, and it's a gorgeous venue.
It is very nice. And then the kind of bittersweet is the award for Keat TV.
Yeah.
Considering what's going on with the current funding levels for rural television stations, and hopefully they can find a way to pull out of the the spiral that a lot of these stations are facing. But I don't disagree, by the way, but I just want to say that a lot of people think that Access Humboldt has something to do with public television, and I just want to just clear up that any confusion is that we are not. We're not public television. A lot of people need
to be corrected. In fact, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting's recent announcement that it's basically unraveling itself, that it's winding down, is very alarming. I want you to know that this does not include Matt Knight or Access Humboldt.
That's right.
Or KZZH, which I'm sure next year will be best radio station.
It better be if there's any if there's any justice in this world.
Maybe
no.
Maybe you lack a pet. Have you thought about that? Getting an office pet?
Well, yeah, we have Tuck, who belongs to one of our members, who shows up and is helps out with productions. He's a little Chihuahua, little black Chihuahua. So maybe Tuck could help us get over the top.
You need to get Tuck on the branding, and then we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't work with you on it because that's a conflict of interest.
That'd be cheating.
I do wish you the best of luck.
Okay, well, thank you. Yeah. And then I noticed my next door neighbor, Gabriel Enriquez, is the best orthodontist.
Congrats, neighbors.
It's nice to see your neighbors in this feature, It's like, oh, I know them. I
do like that, right? You get to see, like, I go to Frankie's Bagels, and it's nice to see the Frankie's Bagels people happy that they've won. It's great to zip over to Natalie at Happy Donuts and be able to congratulate her and see people ahead of you in line congratulating her. It's kind of cool.
Shout out to Natalie.
Yeah, it's just kind of a way to give love to the people in our community and the businesses in our community that we love and the small dogs. But also, it is a window into Humboldt's dark, dark soul. When I look at the best place to break up with people.
Right. What's up with that?
We have had some rough ones. I thought Hatchet House was rough. I thought that when Hatchet House was the winner of Best Place to Break Up, I was like, we're in a dark place, Humboldt. And then when I believe it was Murder Mountain, I thought, oh my God, Ooh. Humboldt, no, are we confessing to crimes right now? But then this year's
Yikes.
Might be the grimmest.
Yeah.
The Bayshore Mall.
Wow.
The Bayshore Mall. It is an 80s comeback we didn't want or see coming. Those of us of an age to have already been dumped at a mall once, it's hard to see this trend come back.
Right. Poor Molly Ringwald.
I know. The sneakers are big again.
Yes.
And people are getting dumped at the mall.
That's right. And they're wearing pastels while they're doing it.
Oh, 2025, why?
I don't know. Well, do you have any final thoughts about this feature of the marketing department before we move on?
Just that my favorite part of this is about to begin. Once it's on stands, once it's online, the fighting begins. And I want to hear everybody's complaining about who won what categories. I live for it.
Fantastic. I can't wait either. Well, thank you for bringing that to us as North Coast Journal does every year. So get ready for next year.
Oh yeah.
We're doing it down here at KZZH. Kazaa.
Work the Chihuahua into that.
We will. We're going to get
Kazawa?
Tuck. He's going to be our new mascot. So, what else do you have for us?
Well, speaking of winners, speaking of the best, if you have been following our coverage by Brandon Dixon of the Humboldt Crabs, it has been an exciting season. And the Crabs made it to the championships of the Pacific Empire League and won the first game and sadly lost the next two on the road.
Wah,
Some,
wah,
I
wah,
know.
wah.
Something about that hometown vibe. I feel like if it had been reversed, if we'd had two games at home, I don't know.
Well, Jen, you win some, you lose some, and some are simply rained out.
So true. And in Humboldt, the rain comes more than you think. However, we actually had good weather for it this year. I don't think we had rain games, but Brandon has been following the team the whole time. And if you have gotten a chance to read it, or if you have by any chance met Brandon on the street, he is obsessed with baseball. He is a baseball guy, himself a former All-American, and very excited to have been asked at the last minute to pitch the first ball in the championship at Arcata Ballpark. And
Wow.
yeah, it's always nice to see, someone pitching the first ball, but also nice to see someone who can make it over the plate, so you're not having that stressful. Listen, if it was me, I don't
hate
know.
to see when they just roll it, It's like we're not bowling here, This is baseball.
I know. And I would be there like, wait, I can't touch it with my hands, right? Isn't that the So anyway, he's got coverage of the season in general, how the championships went, and because we are ending on a high note, despite not winning the championship, it was a big season. We had somebody drafted to the Giants. We had a ton of wins, a really strong record, and Brandon has named his Players of the Year, which is the Journal's official Players of the Year because we trust him to know. And Defensive Player of the Year goes to Keenan Morris.
Okay. Go
Reliever
Keenan.
of the Year goes to Max Hippensteel.
Max.
Starting pitcher goes to Miles Standish, frequent flyer in this
Miles
column.
Standish, what a name.
Right?
That's
Can
like a literary name, yeah.
Right? Not the Miles Standish.
Not the Miles, but an incredible simulation.
And Offensive Player of the Year goes to Cameron Sewell. That's a real baseball name too, actually. Now that
Cameron, yeah.
Keenan Morris.
This is me at the ball. This is me at the ballpark. Cameron.
Really? That's your thing?
Yeah.
Matt.
Ask anybody.
MVP goes to Adam Enyart. And Adam Enyart has been central to this column. If you went back and saw from the beginning of the season, I think Brandon has a great eye for who's an up-and-comer, who's got talents in what areas, etc. And Adam Enyart has been a big feature doing big things throughout the season. So it's nice to be able to pat these people on the back and tell them what a great job they've done, especially since the whole community really rallies around them. And so, for people like you who are yelling Cameron in the stands, it's nice to be able to give some acknowledgement.
I think we ought to mention too the improvements that have been made to the park. The new entrance is absolutely fabulous. It is really the place has never looked better.
Yeah, it is really nice. And if I had had room, I would have included it. But the crabs issue that we did a couple months back, we did a whole issue on the history of the Humboldt crabs and
yes,
the changes at the ballpark and all that stuff. And one of the things that did not make it into the paper because of space, which is a thing that happens sometimes, was a list of the best heckles.
Ah, yes.
And some of them were just brutal. Like, hey, to a very small player, hey, he's like a baseball player, but smaller. As a vertically challenged people, I feel it in my soul. And then my personal favorite, my parents swing better than you.
Yeah.
That one was rough. And I think the most Humboldt one that was in that list was, hey, after I think a foul pitch, or not foul pitch. Oh my God, my husband is a baseball guy and he's going to laugh at me.
A foul tip, I think it's called.
It was a bad pitch, I guess, and somebody in the audience yelled, "Pardon me, someone in the bleachers. God, do you hear me? It's like I'm at the theater." So somebody yelled, "Don't feel bad. It's Humboldt. We're all high and outside."
Oh, burn. Well, with that, that's about all the time we have for this week. Tanya will be back next week. Thanks for putting up with me. The latest edition of the North Coast Journal will be on newsstands tomorrow. And as always, you can find it online at northcoastjournal.com. Jen, thanks for being here, and thanks for doing it. And we'll see you again next week.